Well, welcome back, everybody. I hope you had a phenomenal weekend here. Happy Father's Day weekend. And then, as we have the Juneteenth holiday today, the primary markets are closed, cash markets. Futures are open for a little while this morning, so you're just seeing the typical whipsaws back and forth that take place in that when they're kind of directionless because they don't have anything to key off of. No major world news and bond markets, etc. So, with all that being said, what I want to go ahead and focus on here is where we're at now, the big picture. We did get down below that key weekly support level I told you, but by 1 bar, as you can see. And usually I'm looking for breaks of 2 bars, as you know, to really say things are broken and whatnot due to the upside or the downside. The other thing that is at play here is we have kind of a positive divergence taking place where we're making a lower low in price on like the SPY and the diamonds, but you'll see here we're not really making lower lows per se very clearly on in the way you'd like, right? I mean, of course, the best case scenario is when you have a really strong upward movement in the indicator and the downward movement on the price, and so you got a clearly defined one. This is a little bit more what we call a hidden divergence, where in this case, you can see we're kind of flat on this one, but going down on this one. That's still a positive divergence. This is not as clear of one. Now, the thing is, we're also going to see that on like the inverse ETFs. I'll show you those in a moment. But that's actually part of the issue. Because we only have a 1 bar breakdown with the weekly charts here, and we have a minor positive divergence, I am not going to be looking at aggressively or hyper aggressively going and trading. Certainly, short side trades are in general preferable, especially when I can find them on an intraday basis. Looking for those moves to go with the overall theme to the downside, especially when we've had throttling in the backdrop here, which is always a key. But what happens here now is if that positive divergence has a chance to take hold, then the market could have pretty nasty short squeeze right back up here again, kind of like we saw not too long ago. You recall when we bounced off weekly support. Right, those short-term rallies can be kind of painful if you're on the short side. So, looking for resumption shorts would be much better. In other words, using some of those techniques I've taught you in some of the last videos and just in the special trainings I've done with you at the Wealth 365 events and the few events that I've done publicly this year. So, things like IRBs, reverse IRBs, momentum shifts with trends breakouts, the wealth signals, the wealth charts breakouts, the breakout resumptions, a lot of great tools and strategies here. Wait for the market to pull back first and then re-enter. So with all that being said, let's go ahead and I want to bring you back here because real estate was something we were talking about even last year. In fact, back in December, we talked about that with the real estate. And remember, I pulled up the real estate crises charts from 2008, talked about the similarities of what was happening now. You recall that I had staff members that were going ahead and giving real-world examples of how they themselves or family members were purchasing or selling houses at exorbitant prices. And so we talked about all that. And so, then I started talking to you about the inverse ETFs, right? And there's I just mentioned a few of them here for examples and showed you kind of how they work and taught that. And you can see how even with the tools that we like to use, they went ahead and they worked very nicely. So while the main market is going down and the average person be like, well, I don't want to short, I'm not interested in shorting, whatever the case may be, there's a way to look at those for the long side. Well, so there's a couple issues here at hand. Number one, talking about the real estate. Over the since like October of last year, we talked about energy stocks at length. We show those in sector scanner. 4 out of the 5 picks at the Wealth 365 Summit, as you guys know, were energy stocks. We've talked about energy. We've talked about food. We've talked about defense right after the or during the time of the Russian debacle here at the beginning of the year. We went ahead and talked about real estate multiple times there as well. And so, kind of bringing that back now, look what's happening. We're seeing real estate on these inverse ETFs. So you're going to see a lot of these, real estate, real estate, real estate, because that's what people have been asking. Like, well, how do I take advantage of the markets? I don't want to go short, or I can't go short because of the kind of accounts that I'm operating out of. That's where this concept of inverse ETFs comes to play. And so what they do is, while the main market you're looking to trade, well, a great example of this is SQQQ, right? The SQQQ. So you recall that while the market was going down, SQQQs were going up, and we walked through a whole trading example there with Ted, one of my team members. Even share with you like exactly when he got out of the position and why, and that. So those are great examples of how you can be looking at these markets. And so one of the powerful tools inside of wealth charts. I don't want this to be all about wealth charts, but more the concept of inverse ETFs. But one of the powerful tools inside of wealth charts is Wealth Scanner, and you can flip it down to the ETFs section here. And then if you're looking for bullish ETFs, well, guess what? When the market's tanking, you're probably going to see a lot of inverse ETFs, these ultra short real estate type ones. So what's happening is, as you can see with these markets, let's just pull up a couple of these up here, and you see that these were going, taking off to the long side as the real estate market was crashing, pulling back, holding the key trailing support with the champion trend tool, and then took right back off to higher highs. Now, I'm just going to click on a couple of these here so you can kind of see that over and over again, okay? So you guys get the point. And then here, just regular S&P ETFs, right? So look at how nicely they held up, very similar to like the SQQ that we had shown you previously. So you can go down the list, you can find all your favorite, different markets here, and then save the ones that you like, hit them, add to your watch list here, and have them over in your added symbols. So this is a great way to go ahead and find long side opportunities with the inverse ETFs. Now, another strategy you guys can use in this market right now is take all the high flyers and then use them and with your key strategies here. So, like Team, remember when Team? I was showing you Team on the big moves up. Team's had a lot of big moves to the upside, right? And so what kind of cool is, well, then when you're looking for short side opportunities, where do you go? Well, you take some of the ones that were the biggest high flyers before, and then you go and put them on your screens here and wait till they start firing off sell signals, right? So if it goes up real hard, it's likely to come down real hard unless it's got very strong relative strength, and that could be a future buy opportunity. But these average, high flyers that they rise and fall pretty quickly, when they get to that point where they start, generating those sell signals, like right here, then that can be those opportunities to the downside. So what I'm trying to do is expose you to a couple of opportunities, whether you're looking for shorts in the market, or you're looking for long side trades that are based on the market's ability to have an inverse ETF. Those are the kind of things that we're looking for here, and I wanted you guys to go ahead and see. So whether you're looking for fresh ideas, or you're looking for things that in the past were high flyers, and now you're looking for them for sell opportunities. A couple of great tools. So don't discount these inverse ETFs. And if you want, you can go ahead and just search the word inverse ETFs like on Google. If you don't know which ones, I've got a couple you can take a look at right here. For all of you that have wealth charts, which is so many of you watching the videos today, you guys could just go right in there and you can see which ones and make note of the ones, and then even save to your watch list the ones that are the most interesting to you in whatever categories you're interested in. So like when I was warning you about the real estate market, well, you could throw the inverse ETFs in there and see when they start becoming the bullish ETFs, right? If you're just looking to short, then you're going to flip this back over to bearish and see which ones are the bearish side. So just a couple of key strategies there, and I've got a lot more of those I'm going to be sharing in videos leading up to the next Wealth 365 Summit, which is, I can't believe it, but it's only 3 weeks away now. I know you guys are getting inundated by a lot of different people doing a lot of these different different shows all over the place. But the beauty is, as you know, we have this down to a science. We work so hard for you to bring you an incredible lineup. We certainly have that at the Wealth 365 Summit. Got a huge, just even on Monday, thinking about the different people like JJ Kinahan and Tom Sosnoff. I'll be speaking on that day. Ralph Acapora, some very important people to be hearing some of the thoughts because we're going to be all looking at what we're thinking about the market ahead, and that's going to be very timely. And of course, I'll be focusing specifically on strategies very heavily that week. And as you guys think about all the things I've talked about in each of the last few summits, they were very timely to them what happened. So it's going to be really important. So what you can do is you can go to the joinwealth365.com. So www.joinwealth365.com or just joinwealth365.com. Get yourself registered right now. That's an event you cannot afford to miss. Come learn everything you possibly can. Also, right now, the prizes are incredible. Great way to get access to different tools and that. And it's like for people that are day trading, it's great. But for people that are swing trading or long-term investing, as far as I'm concerned, it's as good, if not even better, because there's going to be so much focus on what's happening with the economics, with the market and that right now. And so I'm super excited to go ahead and be sharing the tactical trading strategy things out of my arsenal. And I know several other people are going to be doing that specifically out of their arsenals in this particular show. But also to hear the more global macro stuff, because if you think about what we talked about, just kind of some of the examples I gave you earlier, the things we talked about during those shows actually kind of came to fruition. And that's great for you to have that market intelligence. And now kind of showing you how to go back with all that and apply it to find some of the most exciting opportunities, whether it's a bullish market or it's a bearish market. And speaking of which, in the meantime here, if you take a look, I mentioned the inverse ETFs and the divergences. If I go and pull up my trigger indicator here, you'll see what I was talking about just a moment ago. You'll see right here, you got this negative divergence here where you're making a higher high in price, but you're making a slightly lower low over here. So you got a negative divergence on the bullish ETFs, and the inverse ones here, and then the stock market has kind of a slight positive ETF. So that's why I want to wait a little bit longer to go ahead and either have this do what's called a failed divergence, where it breaks out above this, which could then become a very powerful move, or whether it starts to roll back and has to reconstitute itself. So we're going to be talking about that in upcoming videos here, but I kind of wanted to do an extended video here to kind of give you the lay of the land of a couple of things that we're watching right now, and also how from a sector perspective and a bullish and a bearish perspective, you can see some of the different types of instruments that are available and how to find those instruments as well. So stay tuned. Don't forget to get registered to see me here at joinwealth365.com. I'll look forward to seeing you guys here at that very special event with lots of strategy sessions for you. But in the meantime, we'll keep you up to date with what's happening with the market. Take care, everyone. Have a great rest of your holiday. Bye-bye.